Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability.
Hi, welcome to Silicon Valley, Technology, Art, Green, and Sustainability. Today we'll be talking to another leader here in Silicon Valley, and this time in green education and sustainability education. Alex Thatcher from Environmental Institute of America, which is a new institute. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me, Heather.
So tell us a little bit about your company and yourself and what is you guys are doing.
Well, EIA is positioned to be the foremost national brand for environmental education. We help professionals at all levels get the knowledge, skills, and credentials they need to be successful with today's emerging green jobs. Our curricula covers everything from green building to LEED accreditation. We have classes on sustainable operations and maintenance. And we even have unique courses. For example, we have a class that helps small and medium-sized businesses understand the stimulus package and how to tap in and use that money to both deliver sustainable environmental impact, but also help their business grow.
So, and for the audience, LEED is Leadership in Energy Environment Design, which has to do with green buildings and a gamut of other things. You also mentioned weatherization, and so tell us a little bit about the programs and the meat of it. I know there's three programs that you're working on now, and then some more that are coming up.
Well, let's begin with LEED. LEED AP, or LEED Accredited Professional, is probably the most recognized green credential in the world. LEED
it's a huge thing now, and it's
enormous.
amazing that people still don't know about it, but some people don't actually.
They don't. LEED was a standard that was created by the U.S. Green Building Council, and it's now recognized as the de facto standard, not just in the U.S., but in many countries around the world, as the system for measuring the efficiency and the greenness of buildings. If you work in any way, shape, or form with commercial buildings, you need to understand the LEED system and process. Now,
and with residential buildings now too.
Yes.
They're doing a pilot on that.
Yeah, they've added LEED homes, which is growing like wildfire. It's just as important for them as well. Now, EIA offers courses that help people understand the LEED process as well as pass this independent proctored exam that enable people to get these credentials. Becoming a LEED AP is not easy. It's a tough exam.
I've heard it's a tough road, and as you know, I was saying that there's somebody that I know that crammed for it, and she missed it by 1 point. It's not a thing you can cram for.
It absolutely is not, and she's in good company. In fact, to my knowledge, less than 50% of the people who study for that exam without taking a class don't pass.
And the exam's getting harder.
This
is the old exam.
Oh,
so now it's getting harder. So places that like your company are very important for people to be able to have a little edge on taking the exam, because it's not a cheap exam to take.
That's absolutely correct, and you want to be able to pass the first time. But I want to be very clear that the classes that we offer are not just about exam preparation or studying for the exam. We offer classes that are intensive and are very focused on helping people to become great LEED professionals. So take, for example, our Green Associate class. There's many layers in LEED, and Green Associate is the first tier of this.
It's the basic intro.
The basic intro. It's the inch-deep, mile-wide perspective on LEED, green building, and sustainability. Taking this course lets your colleagues, and getting the credential helps your colleagues and your customers know that you do, in fact, know what you're talking about. And we've seen a lot of people come through these classes and get this credential, not just architects and interior designers, people focused on buildings, but also adjacencies, commercial real estate, attorneys.
Interior designers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so these folks who come through and take this class, the thing that we offer them is, yes, 90% of the people who take our class pass this exam. And we're so confident that they'll pass that for those that don't, we say, come back, take the class again, on us, work with us, and we'll get you through until you are able to pass.
And it's amazing. I have a friend, a good friend who's been in the design industry for a long time, and she's in the South, and she'd never heard of the LEED certification. I'm like, oh, you have to do this because you'll be ahead of the curve of all the other designers. She's getting back into it after having a few kids, and she'd never heard of it. She'd heard of the new staging classes that people are teaching, but not the LEED. So I sent her a bunch of information. She's jammed on it. She's excited about it.
It's a common story. A couple of years ago, if you were a LEED accredited professional, a LEED AP, it was a huge differentiator in your field. Now it's almost table stakes. If you're not if you're in the field of buildings and you don't have or aren't pursuing a LEED AP, you're probably falling behind in your industry.
Now you guys are teaching in other places besides Silicon Valley? Or?
We are. In fact, this is a year of our great expansion. We have been teaching classes in Northern California for a few months now, and we are expanding to Los Angeles and soon to Texas and other states throughout the U.S.
So hopefully the South, my friend can go take classes from you.
Oh boy, I hope so. And also it's worth noting that we are bringing online courses as well, especially popular courses, our LEED courses, but also our very popular stimulus course will soon be available online.
And so what's the stimulus course? What is that?
Well, you know, most people, business owners, managers, are generally aware that we have this thing called the stimulus package and that there's stimulus incentives out there and opportunities to go green and see some financial benefit from it. But most people aren't really aware of the organizations that are behind it or the breadth, the sheer breadth of opportunity that's out there. In fact, there's $19 billion
amazing.
Just targeting energy efficiency. So what we did is...
So what are some of the companies out there?
What are some of the opportunities that are... we cover almost 50 programs in this class.
Okay.
Some of the popular ones that are going on in the Bay Area, brownfield renovation. A lot of brownfield activity going on in San Mateo. This is renovation of polluted lands.
Right. So like Moffett, when they sold some of their property off they built the Moffett Towers, it was actually built on brownfields. So they had to clean up jet fuel or whatever was there before they could actually build on the site.
Right.
Whether it be an old dump that was there hundreds of years ago or whatever.
Exactly, yeah, and even things like auto dealerships, places where just cars have been worked on and the oil is piled up, even many of those are regarded as brownfields. Other opportunities, energy efficiency, of course, weatherization is a big one.
Well, we can take some of your students to a piece of property. I looked up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. There's about 15 abandoned cars.
great
bad
example.
Get those cars out of there, and then we'll buy the property.
Right. But what our stimulus class does is it helps introduce these individuals to the organizations behind these programs, what the programs actually are, and how to plug in effectively at the municipal, state, and federal level. And finally, most importantly, how to package these opportunities into a service or product offering and present these to your target audience.
Now, is that a regional program as well, or are you doing that throughout the states and then online as well, too?
We are getting ready to offer this across the country. It is a program that we do regionalize because at both the municipal and the state level, there are differences and you need to be aware of them.
Right, and grant writing and all that is a very particular industry.
It is.
If you don't have every T crossed and every little item they ask for, you're done.
That's absolutely true. It's important to note that there's a lot more opportunity than the grants are an enormous opportunity, but there's more in terms of tax incentives, in terms of rebates that can be offered to customers. It's really quite staggering. Now the trick is one size does not fit all. That's why when we do this class, it's a very interactive, intense class actually, that helps you develop a business plan so that when you get to the end of the class, you've measured what these opportunities are against your core competencies of your organization, so the very next day you can go out and apply this and get started in capturing these incentives.
So I guess that's a question that I'm kind of jumping ahead because you haven't talked about the other program, but how long are these programs? Are they months, are they days, are they weeks, are they... You know, how long are they? It
depends upon the program. For our LEED classes, they're usually 1 or 2 days. And again, these are intensive classes with high...
So all day long, 1 or 2 days?
All day long.
During the week, weekends?
We have weekend and weekday classes. Usually we offer them on a weekday, and it's, as you said, an all-day class. We try to keep our class sizes small so there's a lot of interaction.
So is it 10 people, 20?
We typically sub 20 people in a course. Now we are expanding our curricula next year to include energy auditing, solar training, a number of other programs that have hands-on practical components.
Explain energy auditing to people. I know what it is, but I'm not sure everybody in the audience really knows what it is.
Well, that's great. Most people know that they should have their houses insulated, but the truth is the house works as a whole system. And unless the whole system is functioning, you could be losing heat through your attic, you got to have the envelope, the way that, you know, your thermostat, it's a whole package and a total system. An energy auditor comes into your home and looks at this house as a system and evaluates and finds the best opportunities. It's incredibly important because a lot of talk about solar, but if you haven't made your home energy efficient, you're really wasting the opportunity.
You're just sucking that energy out of the house and
you're missing
there it goes.
The purpose, yes.
Yeah. It's like heating the house and having all the windows open.
Yes, exactly.
So are you also doing energy auditing classes for commercial buildings as well? Is that something that you're doing?
That is something that we're evaluating and we'll probably bring in. You know, the low-hanging fruit and the focus in California nationwide has really been on residences, because there are so many old homes out there, and there's an opportunity to
Yeah,
create.
I have one of those old homes.
I think